Welcome to the Pennsylvania Association for College Admissions Counseling Virtual College Fair. My name is Jasmine. I'm going to serve as your facilitator for our session today. Before we get started, I have a few housekeeping announcements. So first, you can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our amazing presenters at any point throughout our session. Second, your camera and microphone are off, so we cannot see or hear you. Third, this is just one of many different sessions happening, so feel free to visit our registration site to sign up for additional sessions. And finally, this presentation will be recorded, so if you miss anything, you will have the opportunity to go back and catch up. With that said, I want to bring up our first presenter, which is Indiana University of Pennsylvania. Have fun, everyone. And Nicole, you are on mute.
I'm sorry, there we go. Are we good? Okay, good evening, everyone. My name is Nicole Carrera. I am the Associate Director of Admissions at Indiana University of Pennsylvania, or IUP. Welcome this evening. Just a little bit about IUP. We are part of the state system of higher education in Pennsylvania. So we are one of 14 schools that are part of the state system public universities in Pennsylvania. We do have a little over 10,000 students that attend IUP. We are located in Indiana, Pennsylvania, which is in Indiana County, about an hour and 15 minutes or so northeast of Pittsburgh. So not quite in the center of the state, on the eastern part of the western part of the state, I guess you would say. And we do get students from most states and quite a few countries as well that attend IUP. But that's a little bit about who we are, where we are. We do have over 120 undergraduate programs for students. A lot of things, a ton of majors. Some of the more popular ones that we would offer would be nursing, criminology, business, safety science is one of our big majors as well. We have a culinary academy, we have a municipal police academy, just a lot of different options for students. So hopefully there's something there that you're interested in. We have a big graduate school as well at IUP. And then we have an area, something called University College, which is where our exploring students are. We don't call them undecided students, we call them explorers. So we do have several exploration majors like exploratory business and exploratory education. So it's sort of a place where students can really find out what they're interested in if they're not quite sure. So you can come in as an explorer if you're not sure what kind of major that you're interested in. We do, like I said, we do have a little over 10,000 students. We have a 17-to-1 student faculty ratio. We offer tons of study abroad opportunities. Certainly not this past year, that didn't happen so much, but hopefully going forward it will. We are also part of the National Student Exchange, which as you see here, there's over 170 colleges throughout the United States in this program. So you could study at another university in the United States for a semester. And there are very few schools in Pennsylvania that participate in that, but we do. So it's just some, again, fun experience outside of IUP that you could participate in if you're interested. We do have a teamwork minor, which is the only one in the nation at this point, to really stress, teamwork and working together. So we do have that minor that can be tacked on to just about any major we have. And we do have a huge internship program at IUP. All of our majors have internship opportunities. Sometimes it's required, sometimes it's not, but there are over 3,000 plus internship opportunities a year that our students participate in. And a lot of those students do get job offers before they ever graduate from IUP. So it is a very large program that, again, maybe isn't something that you want to start, think about right away, but down the road in your time at IUP, you certainly want to think about the internship opportunities. Again, we're mid-sized, so there's a lot of different clubs and organizations, well over 200 that you can participate in. Anything from the campus newspaper to, participating in intramural sports to anything you can think of. We are Division II in varsity sports. We are part of the Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference, the PSAC, for students. And then we have lots of club sports, intramural sports that students participate in. Like, for example, we have ice hockey and rugby, men's and women's ice hockey, men's and women's rugby. Those are huge club sports at IUP. And then we do have tons of on-campus entertainment for students. We do have a big convention center that's part of campus. So there's a lot to do on our campus as well. And in terms of support, tons of support for students, anything you could possibly think of, from the Multicultural Student Leadership and Engagement Center, which is we call MUSCLE, to the Writing Center, which will help you with your paper, to the Labyrinth Center that will help students who are on the autism spectrum, to Pride Alliance, to just about anything you could think of. But any kind of support that you need, whether it's academic, emotional, social, help with your papers, anything you can think of, we really do have on our campus. In terms of applying to IUP, if you're a senior now, you can certainly apply anytime. If you are a junior, you can start applying on July 1st. We only need your application and your high school transcript. There's no application fee. We do not need SAT or ACT scores, even for students that are juniors now. So for fall 2022, we can admit students based on their high school record and not SAT or ACT scores. If you're a transfer student, we'll need college transcripts. And we do have something called the Cook Honors College. It is a residential honors program. So we admit about 100 students a year into this program. When you apply to IUP, you can also fill out information to find out more about the Honors College and apply to that as well. And again, if you're a junior, application opens July 1, and we always start admitting students around September 1st. If you're nursing or speech language pathology, we do recommend applying early because, like right now, nursing's closed. So some of those majors could close early. And it just gives you some general information here on what our requirements are. And again, the standard, fill out your FAFSA by starting October 15th, and recommended filing date for that is January 15th. And information about after you're accepted, pay your $150 tuition deposit to then fill out your housing and orientation information. And I'm pretty much out of time, but this is my contact information. I welcome you to email me or call me if you do have any specific questions. And thank you for joining us, and I will turn it back over to Jasmine.
Thank you so much. Up next, we have SUNY College of Environmental Science and Forestry.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining me this evening. My name is Sean Corbis, and I'm an admissions assistant here at SUNY College of Environmental Science and Forestry. Yes, I know that's a bit of a mouthful, but I promise you, we all just call it ESF, Environmental Science and Forestry, ESF. So what is ESF all about, really? So ESF can, basically it's a pinnacle of public research education, I will call it. And it's all designed and focused around our natural environment. So you'll see these areas of study in science, design, engineering, policy, communication, and management. These are the major themes of what all of our departments and degree programs of study at ESF encompass. Further along in the presentation, I'll show you a little bit examples of what I mean by this, but just keep these themes in your mind as if you're a student that any one of these keywords kind of triggers what you'd want to do in the future, ESF definitely has a degree program dedicated, towards that. So our main campus is located in Syracuse, New York. And basically, we have a small campus in Syracuse where roughly about 1,700 undergraduate students study on a yearly basis. But actually in New York State, the college owns over 25,000 acres of land. And this is including our separate campus, the Ranger School, which is located in the Central Adirondack Park. So at our Ranger School, it's very interesting. It's the most technical hands-on learning experience a student could have at ESF. Students typically spend their sophomore year at the Ranger School, as there's a prerequisite amount of coursework that students need to have in order to be qualified for the Ranger School. Outside of the Ranger School on our main campus, we offer, the bulk of our degree programs, which are, in these areas like I had mentioned. So for our science degree programs, talking about stuff like environmental biology, our most broad categorized biology major on our campus, where students who want to do everything from study pre-med, pre-veterinary medicine, to students who want to be, full-on hands-on wildlife biologists. Outside of that, chemistry is an example of one of our science programs that's much more research-based focused. So you'll have, more of your time and energy spent in that sort of program in the lab as opposed to field studies and things like that. Design is landscape architecture. It holds, our sole design major, and landscape architecture at ESF is actually a 5-year degree program for a bachelor's in landscape architecture. For engineering, we offer environmental resources engineering, paper engineering, and bioprocess engineering. Paper and bioprocess engineering are going to be, more applied chemical engineering majors, whereas environmental resources engineering is really a combined civil engineering program and environmental engineering. Policy and communications is wrapped up through the environmental studies and environmental education and interpretation majors. Then we have a number of management majors on our campus that are, designed to have students put into the workforce as project managers. So when we're talking construction management, sustainable energy management, these are going to be large growing fields, especially in green infrastructure as we move towards the future. Student life at ESF is really captivated by not just our campus, but also our relationship with our sister university next door, Syracuse University. So that's right, ESF was actually founded as a school of forestry at Syracuse University way back in the day. We've since become our own separate institution. We offer degrees all the way through the PhD level, but we still maintain a close relationship with Syracuse University to this day. What that means as an ESF student is that you can use all of Syracuse University's resources, whether it's their dining halls, if you have a meal plan, to their workout facilities, their libraries, etc. So ESF has their own, but also right next door, you have access to a large private university and their resources as well. And that means, clubs from both campuses, student organizations from both campuses. And then just in general, the Syracuse area in Central New York, it's really big for outdoorsmanship. There's a lot of land to be hiked, a lot of fresh water to recreate on. And then there's also, the modern conveniences of a 21st century city. You don't drive super far away to get to the store. You don't, have to worry about what time a movie's playing or stuff like that. So moving forward, the best way for you to get more information about ESF is really going to be through these events. Generally, the virtual open house will encompass pretty much everything we have to do at ESF. But really, if you want to get down to the nitty gritty of what ESF is all about, I highly encourage you to visit our admissions website and sign up for a virtual academic information session. These sessions are led by our faculty with current students, and you'll be able to get a great picture of what ESF is all about. Thank you very much for the time this evening. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Before I bring up our next presenter, I do just want to encourage all of our attendees, if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the Q&A section. They can be about admissions or campus life. Any questions you have, feel free to utilize that Q&A section. With that said, I'm going to bring up our next presenter from Johnson & Wales.
Thank you so much, Jasmine. I really appreciate it. Good night, everyone. Good evening. My name is Christian Zimmerman. I am the Pennsylvania Admissions Counselor with Johnson & Wales University. I take care of everyone from the whole state of Pennsylvania. So if you ever have any questions about anything at all, Johnson & Wales College, whatever you want to talk about, I'd be more than happy to discuss that. I put my contact information into the chat box on the screen right now. So go ahead and take a look at that, copy, paste that, keep that safe. That is the contact information for me. And then there's also a link in there, of course, course, if this were a real college fair where we were all walking around in person and getting to meet each other in person, I'd be able to hand you a great piece of literature that would give some great pictures and links to the website. However, we're not there right now. So go ahead and take a look at that link that ends with view book. In the chat box right there, it'll have some great information, link you back to our website so you'll be able to get great information, get excited about Johnson & Wales so you want to learn more. I'm going to share my screen now. There we are. Okay. So absolutely. So as I said, Christian Zimmerman, I take care of everyone from Pennsylvania, but let's talk about Johnson & Wales right now and basically and really what we are all about. Johnson & Wales, we are one university. We just happen to have two campus locations. The first campus location is in Providence, Rhode Island. This is our main campus. This is our biggest campus, over 9,000 students on this campus. It's our oldest campus, over 100 years old. Because it is the biggest campus, it also offers the most majors out of the rest of the entire university. Over 85 different majors. I'm going to talk about those here in a second. Then we have a second campus, a branch campus in Charlotte, North Carolina. This campus is a little bit smaller, only about 2,000 students on this campus. Because it's a little bit smaller, it doesn't offer as many majors as the main campus in Providence, but if the major is offered there, you would do your entire time there and then graduate from the campus in Charlotte. You don't have to change campuses like halfway through, move from Charlotte up to Providence. If your major is in Charlotte, you would do all 4 years there and then graduate in Charlotte. Some of the majors that we offer, over 85 different majors, as I said earlier. Let's face it, your major is your number one reason why you're going to go to college. If the college that you're looking at does not have your major, it's probably not going to be a good fit. This is not the full list of majors. These are just basic categories of majors that are offered at our college that fall into 5 different categories. Over 25 different business programs. Anything you're looking to do in the business world, we're going to have a major that's going to cover it. Culinary, our College of Culinary Arts. This is probably what we're best known for. And it's the biggest college on campus. 1/3 of our students are studying culinary arts on our campus. That is over 3,000 students walking around our campus studying culinary arts. We offer majors in culinary arts, baking and pastry arts, nutrition, culinary science, as well as food and beverage management. You can minor in programs. No matter what major you're taking on campus, it doesn't have to be a culinary major. You can minor in professional craft brewing. And also get certified as a professional craft brewer. Open your own microbrewery in the future. Get certified as a wine taster. Get certified as a bartender or mixologist. Not just programs that you're going to be sitting in the classroom, but you're actually going to be out there learning the different types of programs. Also majors in engineering, 4 engineering majors. We offer programs in the College of Arts and Sciences, traditional majors that you're going to find at most colleges in the US, but we're going to throw our particular spin on it. And then also our College of Hospitality Management. All of those colleges right there, all of those majors that we're going to offer are all going to be able to provide you with some fantastic opportunities. And then while you're sitting in those classrooms, you're going to realize that the classrooms aren't very big. Faculty to student ratio of 18:1 and an average class size of 18 students. This means you'll get to know those professors really well, but then those professors are going to get to know you really well also. When it comes time to write a letter of recommendation or to make a phone call for a recommendation to a future employer, you're going to get that from a professor who actually knows who you are, knows the quality of your work, and can give you the best possible recommendation for your future. And those same professors, you're learning from the best, people that have actually been out there in the real world. They've been in their jobs, and then they're coming to the Johnson & Wales campus and they're paying that information forward to you, which means that you're learning from people that didn't just go through college and then they jump into the classroom to teach you. You're learning from people who have actually been out there, know what it's like to be in the industry. They come into the classroom, they make sure that you know all that information too, give you the best possible experiences, the best possible advantage to get that ideal job that you're looking for in the future. And then you also get to learn while you're on our campus. Every single major has some kind of a learning laboratory where you'll actually be able to get your hands dirty. Experiential education is the industry term. Getting your hands dirty, learning while doing. in one of our learning laboratories, or as in each particular major. Every single major that we have requires an internship of some kind as well. And you'll be able to work with your academic advisor to try to find the internship that is going to best suit your goals. Over 1,500 companies right now we have partnerships with that will offer internships for you. And then residential life, you'd be required, real quick on this, you'd be required to live on campus for at least the first 2 years in one of our traditional dorms or in one of our dorms that are apartment style. And then great opportunities, both of our campuses, both Providence, Rhode Island and Charlotte, North Carolina, are in the middle of their cities that they're located. So great opportunity for jobs, great opportunity for those internships, a few minutes walk away from campus. If you're interested in sports, athletics, we're Division III for everything on this list. If you're interested in any of these, playing any of these sports at the Division III level, write down this web address, jwuathletics.com. jwuathletics.com, go there and find your information about how to get recruited as an academic student. And then last thing real quick, 94% of our students will receive some kind of financial aid from Johnson & Wales, and that's usually going to be in the form of a merit-based scholarship, anywhere from $1,000 up to $23,000 per year, just based entirely upon your GPA and the grades you've earned in high school. And then visit opportunities here, jwu.edu/visit. Take a look at the opportunities we have. Come to campus, take a virtual tour, see if Johnson & Wales looks like the type of place where you'd like to spend the next 4 years learning, studying, living, and then eventually graduating. Thank you so much again, Christian Zimmerman, Johnson & Wales University. My information is in the chat box.
Thank you so much. Up next, we have James Madison University.
All right, thank you, Jasmine, and give me just 1 second to pull up the screen share. All right, hello everybody, and thank you all so much for joining us tonight. I am so excited to talk to you about James Madison University, located in Harrisonburg, Virginia. My name is Chris Gothard. I am a proud JMU alum, graduated class of 2019, majoring in political science and a minor from the Honors College. But more importantly, I am your admissions counselor. I oversee the whole state of Pennsylvania, and so I will be working with you as you navigate this process. If you have not already done so, please scan that QR code in the bottom right corner to join our mailing list, or you can visit j.mu/info. While you are doing that, I do want to give you a little bit of a preview of what you can expect tonight. And that is overall what JMU stands for. JMU is all about the undergraduate experience. We have unique opportunities reserved for our undergrads. Our academic and student life support is designed for our undergrads, experiential learning and research opportunities for undergraduate students. Our students receive individualized attention from their faculty members, and our professors' true passion is teaching and educating their students, not their personal research, which they certainly enjoy doing, but helping you learn, helping you advance in your field. So let's get you acquainted with us a bit more. We are a public state school with a total enrollment of about 22,000 students, 20,000 of which are undergraduates. Despite our large student body, we definitely maintain a strong sense of community and a small school feel. This is evidenced by our small class sizes, which average 25 students. And in fact, only 12% of our classes have more than 50 students. Additionally, 98% of classes at JMU are taught by professors as opposed to graduate assistants or teaching assistants. We recognize that college is an investment of time, resources, money. We certainly want you learning from the experts, and that's what you'll get here at JMU. We also have Division I varsity sports teams here at JMU. Game days are just so exciting, and the school spirit here is unparalleled. In fact, you'll see that we were named the #1 most recommended school by our students. I also think that that same energy feeds into our freshman retention rate. We have a rate of 89% of students that come for their first year returning for their second year, almost 10 points above the national average. We have a lot of student support that also feeds into that as well. While you're browsing our different colleges, I want you to know that JMU offers 164 different undergraduate academic programs that are organized into several different colleges. Much of the learning here takes place across different academic disciplines in an environment of innovation and collaboration. Also, many of our students choose to double major or have a major and a minor, or even 2 minors if you can handle that. But in addition to that major, all JMU students will complete a common core of classes that we call general education courses. Students will take 41 credit hours of gen ed classes during their time here at Madison. If you're unsure of what you'd like to study, we also have a strong advising program for our undeclared students, and you have until the beginning of your sophomore year to make your declaration. Now that you know a little bit more about us, let's talk about how you can get here to JMU. We have 2 application deadlines, and you'll see them on the screen there. We have a non-binding early action process with a deadline of November 1st and a regular decision deadline of January 15th. Early action to JMU is a bit more competitive, that process is, and students will hear back around mid-January. We also have that regular decision process. Students who apply regular decision will hear back around mid-March, and all students have until May 1st to let us know if they are taking us up on our offer of admission. The application process to JMU is pretty straightforward. We have 3 things that we do require. The first might go without saying, but I always have to mention it, and that is your completed application. We accept the Common App, Coalition, and our own JMU application. No preference between the 3. You pick whichever one works best for you. We also require an official copy of your high school transcript and your senior year schedule if that is not included on your high school transcript. We have several optional components, and probably the one that's most of interest to you is our test optional policy. We have been test optional through since 2017, and we'll continue with that. And that policy of test optional does apply to admission into JMU, admission into the JMU Honors College, and to scholarship consideration. So truly a test optional school. We also have an optional personal statement, 500 words or less, open-ended, that you are welcome to fill out and submit if that is of interest to you. 1 letter of recommendation if you want to submit that, and then extracurricular involvements are also an optional component if you would like to share those with me to review. Once I do have that, those required materials and any of those optional materials, I will then begin reviewing your application. Here at JMU, we are most interested in your academic performance. We break that down into 2 categories. First, the rigor of your course curriculum. So if you have advanced placement, IB, dual enrollment, honors level classes, any of those accelerated classes, we do want to see some of those on your transcript. Ultimately, my job is to determine if you will be academically successful here at JMU, and you taking those classes in high school, go ahead and demonstrate to me that you are prepared for the rigor of Madison. The other criteria under academic performance is going to be your final grades in your core classes. We define core classes as anything that falls into English, foreign language, math, lab science, and social science. We are looking for primarily A's and B's in those core classes to be competitive for admission. Quick side note here, I also need a year of math beyond Algebra 2, and that class must have Algebra 2 as a prerequisite for it. That is our 1 requirement. Ideally, I'll see 3 to 4 years of a foreign language. In the lab science area, I will ideally see a college level or an accelerated level or physics lab science. But those are things that will make you more competitive, certainly not mandatory. I do want to let you know that we admit into the university as a whole here at JMU, not into specific majors. So your intended major will not impact your admissions decision. We see 1/3 of our applicants come in with undeclared on them. We see 1/3 of our current students change their major at least once, and all students, as I said before, will take our gen ed program classes across all disciplines. So we want the most balanced and academically qualified students here at JMU. We are located in Harrisonburg, Virginia, as I said at the start, and that is right off of Interstate 81. I have 1 minute, and so I just want to wrap up, let you know we are 2 hours from Harrisonburg, 2 hours from Richmond, Virginia, 2 hours from Washington, D.C. I also want to let you know that you are welcome to contact me. I'll put this in the chat, so please check that out if you have any questions. I'd love to answer those for you. But with that, I'll turn it back to Jasmine.
Thank you so much. Up next, we have Eastern University. Up next, we have Eastern University.
Hello, my name is Fran Mawusi. I'm with Eastern University, and I'm going to pull up my screen. Let's see. All right. I'm going to share my screen with you. 1 second. Okay. Eastern University is located right outside of Philadelphia. We are a small Christian liberal arts college. We have about 1,500 students, and our student faculty ratio is about 10 to 1. I'm going to go into that a little further as we move along. As you can see, this is just a view of one small part of the 90 acres of land that we have. And we're located in the suburban area of Philadelphia, the suburbs of Philadelphia. We're going to talk a little bit about the campus location because we're not far from places like Lancaster, where you can visit there. Of course, Philadelphia, we're about 20 minutes away. And so you have an opportunity to do a lot off campus as well. We're going to talk a little bit about academics, our faith community, studying abroad, scholarship opportunities, campus life, faith and service, clubs and activities, athletics, our admissions process, and then I'll tell you a little bit about scholarships and financial aid. Eastern has been named and ranked one of the most beautiful Christian campuses in the world. And you can see some of that right here. A lot of our students will come and visit and they fall in love with Eastern. And so we just want you to know that not only do we have vigorous programs, but we also have a beautiful campus in which you can learn and spend a lot of time. Again, we're in the suburban area of Philadelphia, not far. So you can go and visit on the weekends, of course, and that's a good thing. But you can also have a lot of exposure as if you're, say, a pre-med major to the medical hub that's in Philadelphia. And so for internships and for other opportunities that relate to your major, you're in a very good spot. These are all of our majors. And we have about 50 different majors and minors. And we actually encourage students to minor in something. But we also do something called an individualized study. So you can choose up to 3 different areas and we will create a major for you. Of course, one of those majors is going to be the one that will appear on your degree, but you'll be proficient in those other areas as well. So if you're thinking about, or you can't make a decision between the 3 areas that you're so passionate about, then we can pull them all together for you. I would say some of our top majors are education and business. We do some really wonderful things with those who are going into pre-professional programs like pre-law, pre-dental, pre-med, pre-physical therapy. We have a social work program where you graduate with advanced standing. So that means you only need 1 additional year for your master's in social work. And then I want to talk a little bit about our engineering program, because it is a partnership with Villanova University, which is right around the corner from us. It's a 5-year program and you come out with 2 degrees. The first degree is a bachelor's in mathematics and the second is a master's degree. That's right, a master's degree in engineering in a number of different concentrations. So if you're looking for an accelerated program such as that, and you want the best of both worlds of a small learning environment and then to go to a larger university for that experience as well, our engineering program will allow you to do that. So those are just a few of the majors that I want to highlight, but all of our majors are pretty strong. We also have an opportunity for students to graduate in 3 years. So if you have a 4-year program, and probably not that engineering program, but if you're in a 4-year program, say psychology, or you're in another 4-year program, maybe communication studies or business, we can actually design that so you graduate in 3 years. It's called Fastpass. And with Fastpass, you can take classes during the summer online so you don't have to come to campus. And those classes are at no cost. And so students may take 2 classes in the summer, and if their goal is to graduate in 3.5 years or 3 years, then they can actually plan to do that. And then we also see it as a way for students who want to double major to be able to do that and still fit it into a reasonable amount of time. And so we encourage Fastpass for those who want to be creative in the way that they move through their college experience. So if you want to learn more about Fastpass, you can actually go to our website at eastern.edu. As I mentioned earlier, we have a small learning environment, so you get to know the professors and they get to know you. It's a wonderful opportunity, and I especially like to see students who are hanging out with their professors in the coffee shop on campus. And this is beyond the classroom, but they get an opportunity to get to know them on a whole other level, because you're talking to someone who has their terminal degree. They've gone as far as they can in their field. And so you want to glean as much as you can from those professors while you're there. And then I'm on Facebook, so I see students who have now graduated and they're still talking with their professors online. And so it's just a wonderful opportunity that if you are interested in getting to know professors and building that type of rapport with those who are teaching you, you have a really good opportunity to do that. I also want to highlight our nursing program. If you take a look at that lab there, it's like a simulated lab. And we have a very strong nursing program where we've had a 100% passing rate on the NCLEX. And so if you know anything about nursing programs, that's pretty good. And we want to keep it that way. So we have state-of-the-art facilities, and it allows us the opportunity to be able to give top-notch education. We also encourage study abroad. We want students to see what it's like to do their chosen profession outside of the classroom, but also outside of the United States. So for one semester, you have an opportunity to study away in a university in another country. And that could be Oxford in England. It could be a program in our China extension program, or it could be just a program that's away. And that would mean we have programs that are right in the United States. If a student's interested in law or public policy, they can study away at American University for one semester. And so it's a wonderful opportunity to study abroad or study away, and we encourage it highly. Our theme is faith, reason, and justice. And as I mentioned, we're a Christian university. And so when you think about Christian universities, maybe you're thinking that all you're going to learn is things about the Bible, but that's far from the truth. As you saw, we have a number of.
And with that said, that concludes the presentation portion of our session. We are now going to transfer over to our Q&A. So I would like to encourage all of our presenters to join us. Feel free to turn your cameras back on, and we are going to transition over to the Q&A portion of our session today. So our first question for today, and our presenters will present and respond to the question in the order in which they present it. But the first question is, what advice would you give to someone going through the college search process?
I guess I would just say to try to look at as many schools as you can that have the majors that you're interested in, and try to visit in some way. I know that's been hard over this past year to actually visit in person, but I guess I would just say if you can do in-person visits to a few schools, definitely do that. If not, at least some type of virtual visit.
My biggest piece of advice to someone in the college search process right now is to, whatever colleges you're looking at, look at their course catalogs, look at the titles of the courses, look at the descriptions of the courses, see really what your coursework in the curriculum in which you're interested in is going to consist of. And really, that can give you indications of what major professors on campus study what and teach what and research, etc. So look at college catalogs ahead of time to get sort of an advanced look into what your degree program will really look like.
Johnson and Wells, you can respond next.
I apologize. Can you repeat the question one more time?
Yeah, the question is, what advice would you give to someone going through the college search process?
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I know this is already reiterated, but yeah, visiting campus. You can never know really whether or not a campus is going to be right for you until you've actually walked around the campus, taken a look, seen people, you've seen, talk to professors, talk to students, really get to know whether or not you feel yourself again could live there for 4 years, study there, socialize there, and then eventually graduate from there in 4 years. Students I've worked with in the past, I know that they've come onto my campus and they say, yes, this place is wonderful. I can't wait to come to your campus. And I've also had students that have gotten out of the car, they open their car door, stand up, say nope, get back in their car and leave. And I like that. I like that because they've actually made a decision about their future. It's like falling in love. You have to feel it in your gut, whether or not the campus is right for you. So that's probably my number one recommendation, visit campus.
I always like to tell folks to visit campus too, but I'll add another one in there for you. And that is just ask those questions, get a list of 5 or 10 questions that are really important to you, that are integral to your decision, and ask those same questions to all of the schools that you're looking at so that you can really find those differences and maybe those similarities between those institutions. Reach out to your admissions counselors or the admissions staff at the universities and ask them and get in touch with them and connect with them. We are all here to help you through the process. And so please don't be shy. Definitely get in touch however you're comfortable doing so.
I would agree with everything that's been said. And I also think that it's really important to visit the college if at all possible, but also to engage, as I shared in the presentation, with some of the professors if you can before you get there, so you can learn a lot more about the program that they're so passionate about as well. So
Perfect. Next question here. Can you all give an interesting or fun fact about your school?
Ooh, an interesting or fun fact. I guess we used to be the Indians and could not continue with that name, obviously. So we came up with the name Crimson Hawks because we have an oak grove in the center of campus, which is all trees. It's just a big area with lots of trees, and there are hawks in there a lot. And our school colors are crimson and gray. So we decided on the name Crimson Hawks.
So I know in my presentation I gave away probably the biggest fun fact about ESF is the 25,000 acres of land that we own. But within that fact is another small hidden fact, and then it's that ESF actually owns an island on the St. Lawrence River in the Thousand Islands in northern New York. And this island was actually a gift to the college from a previous governor, and it's called Governor's Island in Clayton, New York, and that's where we have our Thousand Islands biological station. So if anyone's interested in freshwater ecology, the TIBS, as we like to call it, is our own private island, well, public, since we're a public research institution, that is available to our students and faculty for research purposes.
Fantastic. I'll share one of the best fun facts about the school that I really love, of course, being from Pennsylvania. Our campuses, as I said, are in Rhode Island and in North Carolina, but we have a Pennsylvania connection. Our college was begun by 2 women, Gertrude Johnson and Mary Wales. They were actually teaching at what today is Millersville University. They were teaching business classes. They got together, they decided that they needed to open a business college. Moved up to Providence, Rhode Island, opened up the business college, started with 1 student and 1 typewriter is the apocryphal story. And like I said, today we have over 12,000 students. So it wouldn't have happened if they hadn't been both in Pennsylvania.
I'll follow that same theme and give some JMU history as my fun fact. We were founded in 1908 as an all-women's teaching college. In 1966, we allowed our first men into the university. And then in 1977, we became James Madison University from Madison College. And so thank goodness we had some of those changes or I wouldn't have my degree, but a little bit of history for you there.
Eastern is on, the campus is on what was previously the home of the Walton family. And the Walton family was very affluent and had, I think they did some ammunition and things like that during the war. And right across from us is Cabrini College, which was the Campbell family, Campbell Soup family. But on our campus, the Walton family, Mr. Walton gave Mrs. Walton a present for Valentine's Day. And so it's a pool that's now what's considered a lake on the campus, but it's a pool. It's actually shaped in an anatomical heart that he gave her for Valentine's Day.
Nice. So thank you all for sharing those fun facts as well as your advice for all of our attendees. With that said, that concludes our college fair for today. But before we close out, I do just want to thank all of our attendees for taking time out of your busy day to join us. I'm very hopeful that the information that you learned today was very useful. I also want to thank our amazing presenters for joining us and sharing so many gems about your institutions, and also taking time out of your busy day. With that said, I do have a few closing announcements. So as you all exit the Zoom session today, a survey will appear. It's approximately 4 questions, but please respond. Very useful for us as we aim to improve our virtual college fairs in the future. Also, as a reminder, you can sign up for additional sessions. And then finally, recordings will be available within about a week or so at strivescan.com/Pennsylvania. With that said, thank you everyone for joining us. I hope everyone has a great evening. Good night.